Right, okay, so the news has come and it is now official, and Liam Manning has left Bristol City and joined Norwich. And as I said on Sunday, I think it was Sunday, on the video I uploaded there, it's very sad, it's very disappointing, but it's now an opportunity for someone else to come in, and I think that's the mentality I've been sort of trying to tell myself over the past few days, that it's an opportunity for someone else to come in and do a job for Bristol City, and it's an opportunity, and it's an exciting one because it is a good job, and it is one that hopefully will be an attractive proposition to many managers in looking for jobs in the Championship. Look, Manning has done a fantastic job at Bristol City, and a lot of this was mentioned in that video on Sunday. Job he's done in terms of getting us into the playoffs and stuff like that. Since Sunday, though, I have been a little bit more sort of at ease with the situation. I think uh, trying to find sort of two sides of the argument. Obviously, the negatives for Bristol City are we're losing a very, very good manager, a very talented manager, a very young manager with a high potential, and we're losing him to a direct rival in the Championship, and that's obviously a major disappointment. And if Norwich and Bristol City are going to be competing, hopefully Bristol City are going to be competing towards the top end of the Championship, this is obviously a major disadvantage to us. And Manning, off the back of last season, would have been sort of a key factor in terms of getting maybe some top quality players into the door. That's obviously a major disappointment. Obviously, we're trying to find some negatives in Liam Manning and obviously some positives in this situation. There's a lot of money involved in this, with the compensation for Chris Hogg and for James Krause included in this deal. It's still a lot. It's a lot of money for Bristol City, and hopefully that aids maybe a new manager appointment and gives us a little bit more of a financial advantage in that sense. But I think the negatives for Bristol City outweigh the positives in terms of Liam Manning leaving, and that ultimately is a is a is not a good position to be in. He was the manager that delivered us playoff football for the first time in the Championship for the first time in 17 years, and delivered an unbelievable season. Look, 68 points to get into the playoffs is much lower than what it is normally, and that has to be recognised and that has to be taken into account. But still, when an opportunity comes, you've got to take it, and Bristol certainly did. We stumbled across the line towards the end of it, but we certainly took the opportunity to get into the playoffs, and that's no sort of slack on Liam Manning, and no sort of not throwing any shade on the work he's done. He's a manager, and as I mentioned on the video sort of previously, Norwich fans are going to love him. I think he's a fantastic manager. He's very adaptable, very flexible. There's a certain style of football he wanted to play when he came into Bristol City that hasn't worked, and he's had to change, and he's done it effectively. He's changed between systems in terms of a back four or a back five. Not necessarily to up top, which has been a bit of a gripe for some fans. I don't know. You tell me your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. But there are certainly a lot of positives with Liam Manning. I think Norwich fans are going to see that in abundance, and unfortunately, I don't think Bristol are not going to see that again. Look, from a Manning's personal standpoint, it looks like a part of the decision is geography. He obviously goes back to Norfolk and that part of the world where his family are resided, and maybe his immediate family would prefer going back there. I don't know. And obviously, with the incredibly tragic news that he's had to suffer in this past season, the incredible hardship he would have gone through during that time, uh, just horrible from his perspective. So to go back home, might be the right thing for him and for his family, and might just outweigh football. Definitely outweighs football, and that might just be one of the major things in terms of him leaving for Norwich. I don't know. Uh, on the footballing side of things, not to be inconsiderate, on the footballing side of things, despite Norwich finishing 7 places below us in the league, I think historically Norwich probably are a slightly bigger club. As much as that pains me to say it a little bit, than Bristol City, sort of maybe more of a historic sort of dominance about Norwich, and especially in the Championship in recent times, as I mentioned, a lot of good things have happened at Norwich. Promotion under Alex Neil by the playoffs in 2015, 2016, something like that. And then obviously 2 title wins very recently under Daniel Farke, and then a playoff finish under David Wagner as well. And current Norwich, a lot of quality about them, a lot of money, and a lot of possibly incoming money this summer as well, with Josh Sargent and Boris Sainz leaving. And even if those 2 players, who are their star players for Norwich, do leave, well, they've still got the basis of the squad, even without any additions, that have definitely got the ability to compete in the Championship if they can perform on a consistent basis. That would have been attractive to Liam Manning. That would have been really, really attractive. And that money and that sort of historic, well, the historic success, especially recently the Norwich have had, I think it would have been an attractive proposition, definitely. Do Norwich have a better chance of getting to the Premier League than Bristol City? Off the back of last season, probably not. But I think if you join up some thoughts and look at it from a logical basis, they probably do. If they get themselves sorted and actually get a good manager who is competent and can build a good squad on top of the foundations they have, I think Norwich should be definitely competing right at the top of this division for sure, and definitely aiming for those playoff positions. And with it, as I mentioned, I keep mentioning the recent history Norwich have had in the division. That's the least they should be expecting, and they've got the quality in that squad right now, I think, to do so with some additions as well. They've made some early moves. Jacob Wright's already come in. He's going to love Jacob Wright, Liam Manning, and I think he's going to love that midfield as well when fully fit. That's another important issue that we need to talk about with Norwich, because they had a lot of injuries last season. Probably one of the reasons they finished 7 places below Bristol City. But yeah, I think the project of Norwich, the sort of promises that he would have got from Ben Napper in terms of the money would have been available to spend, I think would have been too much to turn down compared to the money he would have had to spend at Bristol City. Look, that doesn't mean Bristol City are not going to spend anything this summer. Look, it probably won't be as close to Norwich because of those major sales that I mentioned of Sainz and Sargent that look like they're set to happen. Still, I think it's a lot of money. It's a lot more money than what Bristol City can spend, and sometimes you're going to lose your managers, your best players, to those sorts of teams who can just blow you out the water financially, and that ultimately has happened here. Obviously, coupled with the fact that probably family reasons, have also come into it, which obviously we don't know as much about. But yeah, it's a good move for Manning, and as much as that pains me to say it, because I would have loved nothing more than Manning to stay at Bristol City and this project to continue and hopefully build on an unbelievable season in the Championship last time round. But you've got to be realistic about it. Once a team finishes in the playoffs, especially for a club of our size, and loses in the playoffs, we've seen what happens with Huddersfield, and we've seen what happened recently with Huddersfield and Barnsley, where they've just been kind of ripped apart. Hopefully that doesn't happen to the same extent, and the fact that we don't have any sort of unbelievable star player, apart from Knight, that might help us. But losing our manager was definitely always on the cards, and maybe a lot of the sort of anger and frustration has been thrown at the fact that because maybe Norwich finished 7 places below us in the Championship last season, why are we losing our manager to them? Sort of question is being brought up, but I think there are a lot of logical reasons, a lot of joint up thinking that needs to be done, and if that's done, I think it's not the worst move, I think, from his perspective. Good luck to Manning, good luck to James Krause, good luck to Chris Hogg. Hoggy and Manning in particular have brought some brilliant moments to City. I'll always remember that West Brom game, that last minute Hayden Roberts goal where I think they all just jumped on top of each other, and it was brilliant to watch. And it was they cared, they really did, and I'm sure if they could, they probably would want to stay at Bristol City and continue the project. But I think the offer and the convenience of it just makes it really too good to turn down for Liam Manning, and he takes arguably a better job at the Championship level as well. But yeah, that's it. That's the end of Liam Manning's story at Bristol City. A manager who came in who had to sort of galvanise a fan base that was incredibly divided. A fan base that didn't take to Manning. I don't think a large proportion of it. I don't want to say I told you so, but I did say straight away if I can speak. Uh, Talking's gone on today. Uh, that he will deliver success, and if given time, and he certainly has, and he certainly has done something unique that no Bristol City manager has managed to do in 17 years, and has delivered some sort of tangible success for us to hold on to and sort of build on going into the next few seasons. But yeah, thank you very much to Liam Manning, and thank you very much to Hogg and Kraus, and what they've done for this football club, because it has been pretty good, and a fantastic project, and a fantastic body of work that they've accumulated at Bristol City, and wish them luck at Carrow Road, and they'll I don't expect anything but success from them. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. That is it. Thank you very much for watching. Keep safe, everyone. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and yeah, thank you very much.